If there is one civilization that learned how to bring their philosophies into the fabric of their culture and the consciousness of the people, it has been Bharat. That's why it was called the spiritual cradle of world civilizations. It is a 12-year course for education that was released in 1992 in the same capital state of India, to be brought into schools of India. My Guru, Puja Shri Swami Dayanand Saraswati, he was instrumental in seeing this Bharat facing this challenge post-independence. And he said, let's write about the Vedic heritage, the Vedic culture. We don't need toppers who at the first failure they break down and are ready to commit suicide or cut their wrist and so on. We need children who have the inner confidence, the inner calm, the inner care, the compassion, the curiosity about the world. Om Shanno Mitra Shamvarunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnururukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pujaniya Gaurav Das Prabhuji, Shantanuji, all our wonderful, honored guests, educators, parents, teachers, well-wishers, my pranam to every one of you. Let me begin with the room we are standing in, not this hall, but the classroom. The classroom, listening to the voices of the classroom, where we find our children are brilliant, they are smart, but we also find parallelly anxiety has become a day-to-day normal. Attention span, as Sri Swamiji so beautifully said, has been shrinking. There is comparison, there is nervousness around. And really, the kids, of course, have learned to code, they have learned to dissect data before they can drive and all of that. But then emotionally, where are they? Not only the children, you find the parents, they seem to be in a hopeless situation. It's not that they don't have memories of tradition. It's not that they don't know what it takes to have a grandma tell a story, a Ramayana story, or to teach a prarthana, or a Hindu festival that will teach you how to have discipline, have certain vratams. These things that was so innate that we grew up, really by osmosis, I would say, culture was picked up. But today, for the parent generation, it has becoming more and more remote. With 10-hour working days, with going here and there, trying to cope with nuclear family, both parents working. It's not that the parents do not want the best for their children, but the only way they find themselves delivering this is by making sure that there is no discomfort to the child, They want to ensure that if they cannot help them, at least let me walk with them, hover on every step they take. With the result, you're creating children who are more and more nervous. Their grit has really dropped. The capacity to blame the world has grown. And unable they don't even have the tools to look within and maneuver their own emotions as required. It's not only the parents, the children, well, the teachers, let's not leave them behind. The pressure they have to perform, to bring outputs from the system, it is not easy for them to deal with children who are breaking down, who have high anxiety levels, to deal with this modern digital world. It is really a very, very challenging moment has come. And so therefore, the theme given to me is ancient wisdom in modern curriculum. I would say it's not a question. This conference is not a question about should we bring ancient wisdom into a modern curriculum. The question is about how are we going to survive without it? How are we going to deal in another one generation? Where will our kids be? Is really the question. Time has come for India to speak. Not to speak out of nostalgia, but we need to speak with courage. We need to speak from need, and we need to declare what is true. For this, it is very important that we understand what is this ancient wisdom, quote unquote. As Sri Swamiji very beautifully said, really. This wisdom is all about understanding where we are coming from. An indigenous civilization of Bharat, a civilization which is the oldest living civilization of our planet today. It's not that the world did not see the great Greek civilization or Egyptian civilization or the American Indian tribes, but today they are all in the libraries. Are they a living culture of any society? You want to know about Egyptian civilization, you go to the libraries. You want to know about the ancient Vedic civilization, you come and feel the pulse of the people. It is a living culture we are in, and while we are living, let's not kill ourselves. Let us understand first who we are and what this wisdom is all about. When you look into the Vedas, it's very simple and straightforward. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. All that is here is the divine, is the first statement of the first Upanishad. By ignoring these Upanishads, we are not going to get anywhere in ancient wisdom. Let us understand this well. It's not just a superficial quote about a wrapper like the West has done with yoga. They have put beautiful wrappers. Look at those yoga studios in Europe. India can go nowhere near them. But the kind of depth and profundity and the discipline and the tapas that goes into yoga that you find in the yogis of the Himalayas, you're not going to see in the yogis and yoginis of Europe, I'm sorry to say. It is just words. It is just a lot of wrapper and sweetened words for the world to be impressed. The whole universe is looked upon in the ancient wisdom as a living being. A living being having a soul. And that soul has limbs called the 5 elements. We are part of that 5 elements. For us to have this great universe work as one being, it is for us to respect every part of our body. Whether it is Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, It is all about recognizing the sanctity of life. You take away reverence, you take away gratitude from the Indian consciousness, you have landed in secular India. Bharat is all about reverence. Let's not forget. Cultures are many all over the world. They are all secular cultures. If there is one civilization that learned how to bring their philosophies into the fabric of their culture and the consciousness of the people, it has been Bharat. That's why it was called the spiritual cradle of world civilizations, was it not? And what is that reverence? We see our divinity in the sun, in the moon, in the stars, in the rivers, in the mountains. Ganga is not Ganga without seeing her beyond hydrogen and oxygen atoms, is it not? And therefore, reverence and sanctity. Arunachala Shiva, Ganga, Yamuna, they are all not just H2Os. It's not just rock and stones. The reverence element, you take reverence and gratitude, because gratitude cannot enter a human heart unless you live in a sense of fulfillment. If न्यूनता हो, अगर कमी हो हमारे हृदय में, of course there will be greed, there will be competition. Bharat did not become what it is by your modern three-piece system of success. Productivity and popularity and possessions, these were not the definitions at all of human success. Human success was always connected to soul's evolution, is it not? That's why a Tyagi was highly respected, highly revered. A man of Vidya, this robe's color itself represents, this is culture. This is religion, this is philosophy, this is culture. We are rolled all into one. We don't need different departments here. Every villager is a philosopher. You ask him, Bhagwan kahan hai? बोलेंगे कहाँ नहीं है भैया, सब जगह है. वो ना आपका एजुकेशन में कभी उतरा, थैंक गॉड. ना ही उसने कभी कुछ समझा आपके मैथमेटिक्स और ये वो इक्वेशंस, नथिंग. बट ये चीज़ उसके हृदय में है. आतिथ्यम उसके हृदय में है. He knows how to be hospitable. He knows how to give. This is culture. And in our culture is interwoven spirituality. In our culture is interwoven philosophy. In our culture is theology. In our culture is our religion. Let us understand the sacred culture of India first. Because without forms, human beings cannot live. हर चीज़ में हमको forms चाहिए. हमारा बर्थडे होता है, हम क्या बर्थडे में आप केक क्यों काटते हो? क्या संबंध है? जब आपका जन्म हुआ तब केक निकला क्या संबंध है बर्थडे और केक में? But we associate events with forms. We associate that piece of cloth with our nation and we salute. You don't blow your nose in that piece of cloth after, because it represents something. It is symbolic. Forms symbolize spirit. If spirit does not have forms to represent its symbolism and philosophy, understand that culture will be destroyed. And if you have forms that don't have the spirit, आज हमारा problem ये है, we have forms all right, but we don't understand the spirit behind it. We are not educated enough. हम ये टीका क्यों लगाते हैं? ये घेरवा क्यों पहनते हैं? Why? We don't understand why women wear flowers in their hair. We don't understand the sacred component of our forms. And therefore, it is not the children's problem to begin with, it is our loss. It is we, the generation who's raising these children. And unless we wake up to the fact that we ourselves need to know who we are before we try to push such profound truths down children's throat when we have not understood ourselves. Reverence and gratitude, sacredness of culture. And let me tell you one more thing we know very well. Today, our planet has, like there are these guardians for materialism, Bharat has been the spiritual guardian of the human race for thousands of years, is it not? And we are this generation that is supposed to protect that spirituality. It is very important, therefore. What does India need to do? We need a cultural renaissance, I would say. We need a cultural awakening, I would say, and its cornerstone is Dharma. Dharma is the cornerstone. Dharma is that thing that holds the moral order of the universe is held together. There is a universal dharma that holds you and I together that goes way beyond all faiths. It is this dharma that has to be decoded. It is this dharma that needs to be understood. As Swamiji said, it's not just Lakshmana and Bharata. Every word, it is Sanskritam that will teach you what that word, that name pulsates. What is the spirit of the culture that is given in those words, in those names, in those archetypes? Let me tell you, if Dharma is taken as a cornerstone, as really the thing that we need, the master key of our culture, of spirituality in education, we have won. We have won our battle. It's a matter of time. It's not about practices. It's about the philosophy, the understanding. It is education. You may be a practitioner, but if you're not, there are many religious practitioners, they don't understand their philosophy. But they are practitioners. They're faithful. It's okay. To some extent, it's okay. But you are educators. We are educators, and therefore we need to understand what it is all about, is it not? Well, how are we going to bring this ancient wisdom into modern education? How are we going to bring this in? If you ask me, let us go back to the Vedas. I would like to reiterate here, the Vedas have said, they have also divided education, but not in the modern language. We divide education as religious and secular, don't we? The Vedas said, Dve vidye veditavye, paracha aparacha. Tatra para rigvedo yajurvedaha samavedo atharvavedaha shiksha vyakaranam chandas niruktam jyotisham kalpamiti yaya yad aksharam adigamyate yat tad adeksham agrahyam achakshu shrotram tad apani padam nityam vibhum sarvagatam susukshmam yad bhuta yonihi paripashyanti dhiraha iti. They divided Paravidya and Aparavidya as knowledge of the subject and knowledge of the objective world. Today's education in Bharat is all about Aparavidya. We have no clue. There is something called Paravidya. A statement made centuries ago, thousands of years ago. Paravidya is that Vidya that Shantanuji is attempting to break into this educational system. It is Paravidya, know about who I am. My body, my prana, my manaha, my buddhi, my soul that transcends the body, my intellect also. And this message, this is not a new challenge. Let me tell you, it is not the first attempt, Shantanu-ji. This attempt has been made repeatedly, 30 years ago. It is a 12-year course for education that was released in 1992 in the same capital state of India, to be brought into schools of India. My guru, Puja Shri Swami Dayanand Saraswati, He was instrumental in seeing this Bharat facing this challenge post-independence. And he said, let's write about the Vedic heritage, the Vedic culture. It is 30 years. There is no school in India that have not knocked their doors. Whether it was aided school, unaided school, partially aided school, Hindu school, non-Hindu school, it didn't matter because it is a civilizational identity. It has nothing to do with faith, was my conviction. It still is. But let me also add here, while we did wonders in countries abroad, my guru never wanted it to be connected to one mission, and so he said, open it up for anybody and everybody who will take it up. Yes, Hindus abroad did take it up. All over the world, Purnavidya books exist. But let me also tell you, past 30 years, I have hit wall in trying to penetrate in schools in India. I've carried these books personally to school after schools. It has been my life mission to see this happen, but Bharat was not ready then. Bharat is ready today. We are ready for this today, and I'm so proud of this moment. I'm so grateful for this moment. Hey Bhagavan, Ma has heard our voices. The pain, the things that we hear, that young children, Ganga तट पे उत्तरकाशी में जहाँ मेरा स्थान है, वहाँ पे drugs, वहाँ पे लड़कियाँ smoke कर रही. We cannot, if we knew that before, we would never have reached Himalayas. Our spiritual hub of our planet becoming what it looks today is the greatest atrocities we are committing against our own Dharma. If we are to bring spirituality into our culture, into our school curriculum, let's not forget the Indian knowledge systems that the rishis have given us. In those knowledge systems is everything. All the archetypal value systems needed from these archetypes can be drawn. There is a lot of work has gone into this. Many, many more people are today waking up to doing this work. We have got to bring this into our system. The children have to be taught, like Shantanu ji, you said, when the class begins, let's close your eyes. First have inner focus, ekagrata. Let the teachers first learn to follow what they ask the children to do. You are the best model of execution of your concepts and philosophies. The parents have to teach the child, no is not behas karne wali baat, no is a complete sentence. You cannot argue when I say no, it's over. If there is a no to Netflix, it is no to Netflix, full stop. We need to create children, not toppers. We don't need toppers who at the first failure, they break down and are ready to commit suicide or cut their wrist and so on. We need children who have the inner confidence, the inner calm, the inner care, the compassion, the curiosity about the world. We need children who are well-rounded, who have pride about who they are. Cultural identity. We don't need to be apologetic by being a Hindu. I remember when I was a child, we were apologetic. Why? Just because I'm a Hindu, am I apology? Why is that pride not coming back? Cultural pride is a need of Bharat. It is a need of every one of us. The more we as adults own up our tradition, half our work is over. Seeing us, our children will learn. And this kind of educational materials, the spirituality, the work that they are doing, very, very subtle work in bringing so many inner elements. It is not an ordinary work. Millennium School is really, hats off to your efforts in this, and I'm sure you will not suffer the decades of loss that I did. But sure enough, I know I have sown the seeds all over Bharat. There is no institution in India who doesn't know Purnavidya, or anywhere around the world, you go to any country, if there is a Hindu, he knows Purnavidya. But it's not enough. It's just a little squirrel's work that has been done. We need a renaissance here, and that will be education. The day Aparavidya is integrated in our schools, it will be no more passing information to children. That will be real education, because that Vidya will be Purnavidya, complete knowledge, with knowledge of the world and knowledge of the self. Thank you all. Namaskar.